Welcome back to Fred Achando Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you for those who are taking their time to support this channel in one way or the other. Now, the Nyanza tour has ended and William Ruto has continued with his politics and its business as usual. But there are several questions that people are still asking about that Nyanza tour. And let me start by asking you, what is your take on the just concluded Nyanza tour? Was it a successful one, and on what parameters? This is what I want us to look at, because we want to put it to an end. Politics continues in Kenya, but just before we delve so much into this, if you are watching our channel for the first time, I want to request you with humility to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and give our videos many likes. And just note that when you do this, this is how you support us as we also grow together. Now, in the Nyanza tour that took place both in Homa Bay, Kisumu, and Siaya, because I think Siaya was the culmination of everything, where William Ruto and his allies went to grace the homecoming party for the CS Eliudwalu, the CS in the Ministry of ICT. I've got just 4 questions that I want to ask you, because these are questions that experts are asking and supporters both from the Kenya Kwanza team and the Azimio team are asking. Because we saw one person who almost stole the show was Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. His speeches and the body language were being scrutinized, because before this meeting is one person who had perpetuated the demonization of Raila and maligning his character every Sunday, calling Raila mtu wa kitendawili and blaming him for everything and anything that never went right in this country. Now, when he landed in Nyanza, and of course people are really asking, will he attend? And when he landed there, people were really waiting with bated breath just to hear what he was going to say. Now, the reason why people are really maybe thinking that he was not going to attend, because last time when William Ruto went on the same tour in Western, he sent Rigathi Gachagua for some international errands. He was in Zambia. So people thought that maybe William Ruto does not want to include Rigathi Gachagua whenever he's going for such tours, because they are going to talk about development, and people think that Rigathi does not support development in other regions. People think he just wants development to go to Mount Kenya. And people also thought that maybe when people talks about, because those rallies are always accompanied by mischiefs, he's also looking at 2027. There are campaign rallies where he's trying to get the support, and people thought that because Rigathi Gachagua is obsessed by becoming the running mate in 2027, and people are saying that maybe William Ruto could get other replacements, so this is the reason why he does not always go with Rigathi Gachagua in places that are perceived to be aligning to Raila Odinga or those who did not vote for them. But he attended, and he really spoke well, if you ask me. But the entire rally, if you give it a holistic look, to me, my personal opinion, was just full of promises and promises. I don't know why it is being called development, that Nyanza got developments. Personally, I believe that those who are promises, maybe I just need to go down and check exactly what the Nyanza people were given. But number one question that I want to ask you, William Ruto is expanding his territory. Currently, it is being said that there is a cold war between Rigathi Gachagua and Musalia Mudavadi. So currently, It's believed that there is a cold war between the Chief Minister Musalia Mudavadi and Rigathi Gachagua because they are struggling for supremacy battles and maybe a possibility of who will deputize William Ruto come 2027. And as you can see, William Ruto is expanding his territories. He was in Nyanza. And from the look of things, Nyanza is slowly accepting William Ruto. If you listen to the speeches and even the main was Orengo's speech, where Orengo was telling William Ruto to look for Raila Odinga so that they can talk for the sake of development and for the sake of the ordinary mwananchi. I analyzed that, in my personal opinion, those were sentiments that have already been discussed. It's not like Orengo is asking them to start, talking today. I believe they've been talking. Now, if Nyanza accepts William Ruto, because there are other secret talks and information that William Ruto is trying to ask Raila Odinga to step down and hand him over his constituency, his support base. That includes Mombasa and Western, Nyanza, and all that. If this happens, the first question that one would ask Rigathi Gachagua is this: will William Ruto still retain him as a running mate? It's not a simple question, because you've seen what happened between Uhuru Kenyatta, the former president, and his deputy, William Ruto. William Ruto was very ambitious, and from the word go, he had set his eyes on the prize. He wanted to become the president of Kenya. And this is why when Uhuru Kenyatta was still dilly-dallying, looking for support and thinking that he had the deep state and everything, William Ruto went ahead and negotiated for a plan with the West, because the Western powers have proved that they are stronger than our powers. That's why Uhuru could do nothing when he stared at victory for his man going. He stared at Raila being defeated, and he had the sword and the deep state and everything. He was the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces. So if you look at the body language and the utterances of Rigathi Gachagua, this is another Ruto in the last regime. He is very ambitious, obsessed about protecting their people, obsessed about becoming the Mount Kenya kingpin, obsessed about becoming the president after Ruto. So the question is, if William Ruto gets this expansive support base, Nyanza, because he's already trying to rule the Western Kenya, led by Musalia Mudavadi, do you think Ruto will retain him, and for what purposes? Because politics is about numbers. The reason, and the main reason why William Ruto went for Mount Kenya is because of their numbers and loyalty, and because it's very easier to demonize Raila in Mount Kenya, and Raila will not get votes there. So if William Ruto has Nyanza and he's got the coast and everything, the answer is very clear, that William Ruto will not retain Rigathi Gachagua, because he will now have a counteractive support base. If Gachagua wants to go, he can go. So that question is one that Gachagua should ask himself and answer. The second question that experts are asking is that, what next for Rigathi Gachagua? Because, as I said earlier, every Sunday, when you give William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua an opportunity to be in church, those church services have been transformed into campaign podiums. So he always stands there and talks ill of Raila Odinga. Now that he was in Nyanza and he sugar-coated the Nyanza people and talked good of Raila, he said that Raila is also theirs and they've got plans to accept him, to work with him, to protect him. Will he still go ahead with this demonization? What will really happen? Because it is not only Rigathi Gachagua that is this question is scheduled to, but there are a clique of Kenyan politicians who survive on insulting others. There are politicians from Nyanza who, for them to survive, they must insult William Ruto or any opponent against Raila. They don't have a proper development agenda or plan or program. All they have to say is to wake up, either tweet or meet their people and talk bad of Raila. And so is Rigathi Gachagua and a host of other members of parliament or leaders from Central Kenya Who will demonize Raila for them to survive? Because apparently they do not have anything to showcase for the people. So will he still talk bad about Raila Odinga? Is he going to tone down? Because the other thing that I personally believe is that there is a talk going on. The reason why he was summoned by the Jane Marriott, the UK ambassador to Kenya, was just to ask him to tone down on his rhetorics against Raila Odinga, because they want a tranquil environment where they can talk. They cannot continue negotiating with Raila if on one side Ruto wants him and on the other side Gachagua continues to talk ill of him. So maybe based on the fact that the bigger boys, Britain and US, are now trying to coerce and compel him to accept Raila, maybe will tone down. But I want to watch him moving forward, what he will say about Raila Odinga. The other thing is, ever since William Ruto wrote a letter to the two speakers of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, and of the Senate, the deputy president has not pronounced himself on the new office, because that letter was asking them to fast track the completion of the debate and about the new office of the official opposition leader. And we know Rigathi Gachagua is a man who speaks his mind. He had stated earlier that you should blame his mom, not him, because he was born to talk. He doesn't care whether we have visitors or hosts around, because he was saying that during their inauguration, when they were taking oath of office, in front of all the guests, presidents who were invited and ambassadors and all envoys, he reiterated just what they had gone through in the previous regime, and people thought that maybe he should have not said all those things. But when he came out and said that he's got every right to say it, whether visitors are there or not, but we've not seen him saying anything about the new office, whether he rejects the office of the proposals to create the new office of official opposition leader, or he wants or he does not want. So people do not know. And of course, experts said that his silence on this meant that he does not welcome this. He was lukewarm about it. After visiting Jane Marriott, and now after going to Nyanza, will he now accept this office? Will we see a Rigathi Gachagua who has metamorphosized into someone who can now accommodate others? Will he talk about it? Will he? We just want to see. We are asking. We want to see how he plays his politics about this new office, because moving forward, you are going to see the talks about this new office taking place, even though the Raila camp is saying that the office is not bad, but it has to go to the people, because this was their brainchild. They wanted the BBI, but Ruto rejected it. Recently, Raila said that don't call, advised Ruto not to call the chief minister, Musalia Mudavadi, with that opaque name, chief minister. They said just call him a prime minister, because you rejected this. Now you're coming to the realization that you need this office. So he's telling Ruto that if they have to take this office, it has to go to the people. And I think it's because they don't want it to look like it's coming from the president, but it is coming from the people of Kenya. The last question that many experts are asking, in the light of the fact that he has been demonizing Raila and talking ill of him, do you think whatever he said in Nyanza is enough to sanitize him? Do you think they have baptized him with a new name? Do you think they're now looking at him with in another angle? Is he a new Rigathi Gachagua? Or do you think the Nyanza people just took it as a normal rally and then they still feel Rigathi Gachagua is the same man? Because I can assure you, when you talk ill of a leader, you create a rift between you and his supporters. Raila is not only a national leader but an international leader. That's why he's even currently he's in South Africa for international duties in his capacity as the AU African Union High Representative of, I don't know, it's the infrastructure, where he's looking at matters energy, clean energy infrastructure and all that. So when you demonize him, there are people who you create, people who follow him, who like his political ideologies. you will not be friends. The same thing to Gachagua. If you go and you start talking ill of Rigathi Gachagua, then you know that you are creating a rift. So, do you think the Luo Nyanza specifically, and specifically those who follow Raila Odinga, do you think they have forgiven him? These are questions that we just want to see. And maybe finally, what do you think is the fate of the Raila rebels who are not given a chance to take over the event as they had expected? I'd said earlier that they can join Raila, they can chat their way, just decide to regroup to become an alternative voice. It's healthy. Politics, in politics, we need to have a myriad choices where you choose whoever you want. But the politics that they play must be devoid of insults, just giving solutions and alternatives. So, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think. Do you think these are basic questions that Rigathi Gachagua should answer? That is my take.